Howdy, partner. Congratulations on your promotion. Not so much a rookie no more. Proud of you. Good to see you, too. Surprised you got through your own little werewolf hunt. But hey, we ain't here to talk about that. Oh, so you're here to take me up on that offer telling you about ghosts. Well, I think I can manage that. So, the thing about ghosts is that they're often associated with hauntings and other such paranormal phenomena, which we believe to be the spirits or souls of deceased individuals. While their appearances can vary, certain common attributes and distinctions and physicality can be observed. So, generally you'll see them with translucent or misty forms. They're generally semi-transparent or ethereal with a misty or hazy appearance. Sometimes they'll appear as wisps of light, mist, or faintly glowing figures. Other times they may actually have a more humanoid form, or a humanoid silhouette, resembling their appearance in life, though they might be slightly distorted. In my experience, a lot of the times it's usually what they've been wearing at the time of their passing. Sometimes they manifest as full body apparitions or full torso apparitions. Those are what we call partial manifestations. Sometimes, as I said, floating torso, or sometimes just a disembodied head. A lot of the times they're going to be very emotive in their expressions. They will exhibit emotional expressions or gestures that correspond to their state of being or the circumstances surrounding their death. The more violent, generally, the more angry they are. But they can also include sadness, fear, confusion, generally conveyed through facial expressions or even body language if they're full torso apparitions or full body apparitions. Most witnesses claim that a lot of the times these apparitions are moving objects or levitating objects, unexplained sounds or voices, chill spots. Sometimes we can pick them up with electronic voice phenomena or EVPs. These recordings generally require specialized equipment and analysis in order to properly determine that. Generally, if you're going in to determine if it actually is a haunting and it's an actual ghost or spirit that you're dealing with, you're going to want to take EMF meters, digital voice recorders, thermal cameras. These are generally the quickest way to find the chill spots or rapid loss of temperature, even try to determine if they're actually speaking or trying to. Other such means are bringing in other specialized individuals, such as mediums for spirit communication, psychics, mediums. They can conduct seances. Although in my experience, if you're not necessarily dealing with a ghost, but it's appeared as one, a seance is going to be incredibly dangerous. Only bring in a medium for a seance if you are 100% convinced that it's not something else. Now, generally, you want to be more respectful when it comes to observing and documenting these phenomena. You don't want to antagonize them. If you antagonize them, it's going to become a really bad day really fast. Now, other times, you might have the full body apparitions, the partial apparitions. You might also see shadow figures. They're generally going to appear as dark, shadowy masses or silhouettes without discernible features. They will move swiftly and or linger in the corners of rooms. That's if the activity is low. If you have entities that are more active, you might have poltergeists or more intelligent ghosts. Poltergeists are known to be able to manipulate their physical environment a little more. They might move objects, create loud noises, cause disruptions. Think of the movie Poltergeist. That is a prime example of a poltergeist haunting. Go figure. Sometimes you might just find residual hauntings. They're just replays of past events. They're not conscious entities, but residual energy imprints. They're not generally all that dangerous, and they don't interact with the living. They're unaware of their surroundings. They follow a set pattern, unaffected by external stimuli. Sometimes you're able to get them to pass on through simple prayer. You're able to get them to pass on through blessing of the place, or if you're able to determine what it is that residual energy is attempting to complete. If you're able to get it to complete, then it might break the loop and finally find peace. It's a rare instance that I've been able to do that, but other times, if it's just a residual haunting, then I offer the client a couple itemized lists of what I'm able to do. I can either try to bless the house or whatever place that they're seeing this haunting and wait a couple days, see if it goes away. If it does, fantastic. If it doesn't, then if it's not causing harm to anyone, you can generally just leave it be. Intelligent ghosts are more conscious entities. They are aware of their existence. They can interact with the living. They retain their personalities, memories, emotions from when they were alive. Intelligent ghosts may be able to communicate through various means, such as EVP recordings, spirit boards, direct interactions with mediums. But this is where it starts venturing into possibilities that something else can mimic an intelligent ghost. And it would be demonic entities that would be able to do that. Now, demonic entities are a whole classification in and of themselves, and I can talk about more on that later, but quick rundown just to quickly try to be able to determine if it's a ghost or a demon that you're dealing with. Generally, demonic entities are highly malevolent with their presence, and they seek to cause harm or chaos. They're generally associated with negative energies and dark rituals. Demonic entities have oppressive influences. They can manipulate and torment individuals, often targeting their psychological and emotional well-being. The way I am able to differentiate the two is ghosts haunt places, not people. If someone has claimed that they're being haunted, determine if it's the place or the person. That will immediately change your approach. However, on the more innocent side of things, you may find, unfortunately, children spirits. They're innocent apparitions. They often appear as playful or curious or lost souls. Sometimes they can be a protective presence. They may seek comfort, attention, or guidance from the living. They're generally regarded as benevolent. You may find animal spirits on occasion. They generally appear as full apparitions or as sounds, footsteps, or movements. A lot of the time it's emotional connections, and those apparitions often remain close to their former owners or locations in which they had a strong emotional bond. Children spirits and phantom animals, I don't worry about those so much. They may pass in time. Now, there was an instance, there was a case back in 2019, I remember pretty well. Case file MIA-SC-2019-7654. We had been alerted to a potential haunting in Oakland. And preliminary investigation was on scene and had determined it to be a poltergeist. So, with the assistance of one of our in-house exorcism specialists and myself, we went in, attempted to perform the exorcism upon the alleged poltergeist. Problem is, while the rites were being performed, the situation escalated, which suggested a gross misidentification of the spiritual entity that was present. We had found further evidence that suggested it was actually a demonic entity. For your safety and mine, I will not be repeating the name. But I will say it was a Class 5. The distinction between these two entities the strategies that we needed to use in order to successfully remove the entity from the premises is vastly different. So, what we did was, upon determining which entity it was, we found associated symbols, associated materials for banishing rites, such as incense, such as chalk, in order to ensure we had the proper sigils drawn in place. It was one hell of a night. And all it did was lead to more paperwork and more of a headache than necessary. Because I had to then write a full recommendations list for future operations, which included creating enhanced training modules for all field agents on the identification of spiritual entities. Now, spiritual entities are not necessarily my forte. I was more along as an observer in order to determine if the rites had been performed successfully, and if they had not been, essentially re-perform them. I also had to figure out how to implement a second opinion protocol for entity classification involving at least 2 specialists before deciding course of action. And it led to the creation of a comprehensive database with the detailed characteristics of known spiritual entities to aid in future identifications. That was the only decent outcome from that. Our on-hand exorcist specialist had to take a prolonged vacation after that one. You can imagine a demon getting pretty angry and being called a poltergeist instead. They have their pride, and they want to be known as such. I'm sorry I didn't go into further details with this one. It's still a little hazy for me, really. But I'm glad you stopped by. It's nice to see you again. You're doing pretty good for yourself out there. I'm proud to call you partner. Stay by the fire a while. I like the company. Rush yourself a couple marshmallows and get some sleep. For tomorrow, we are going to be talking to a Bigfoot